Hello everyone. Now we are going to discuss program design and algorithms. Computer programs are written to solve problems based on algorithms. But how can I define the algorithm? An algorithm is a sequence of finite instructions that are used for calculation and processing of data. An algorithm can be represented either by pseudocodes or flowcharts. So figure shows the design strategies of a program based on algorithm. The first step is design a program based on algorithms and analyze it, then implementation, and then experimental test whether it is working or not. This is the basic steps of designing an algorithm. Now let me discuss the pseudocode. So what is pseudocode? Pseudocode is a generic way of describing an algorithm. Actually, pseudocode represents an algorithm. It is one of the ways of representing an algorithm. It helps the programmer to plan an algorithm, actually. So a pseudocode is not an actual programming language, but a programmer can borrow syntax from the popular programming languages. So pseudocode can be two types: sequential pseudocodes and non-sequential pseudocodes. Sequential pseudocode maintains the sequence of instructions, whereas the non-sequential pseudocodes do not maintain pseudocodes do not maintain the proper sequences or steps. The sequential pseudocode consists of program statements and they are executed one after another. So let me show you an example. Here the problem 1. In this problem, actually we determine the sum of two integer numbers. So for this problem, the pseudocode will be like this. And there will be 4 sequences here, and it will be maintaining the order, such as it will take an input of integer number in variable a first, and the second sequence will be another input of integer number, which will be stored in the stored under the variable b, and third step will be the calculation of the summation of the numbers, so which can be performed by the arithmetic operations or arithmetic functions like this, which is c is equals to a plus b, right? So a and b contains the two input numbers, and this is the arithmetic operator, which is summation. And after this operation, this process will generate the result, which is the summation of two numbers, and finally it will be stored in the variable c. And the fourth step will be displaying the result at the output, and the result here is the number which is stored in the c variable. So this is the way of writing a pseudocode. Here no sequences are broken. So now moving on to the non-sequential pseudocode. So non-sequential pseudocode basically consists of number of programming statements which are executed based on some flow control statements, not following the step-by-step sequences. The steps or sequences can be broken based on the control statements or conditions. So let me explain a non-sequential pseudocode for a problem like determine type of payment based on number of hours worked by worker. Suppose the problem here is to identify the payment type of an employee of a company in such a way that the employee will get paid overtime pay if the hours worked by a week is more than 40 hours. Otherwise, he or she will get paid by the regular pay. So let me start. But for this type of non-sequential pseudocode, it will not follow the sequences. So it basically depends on the control flow or conditions. So first of all, the first sequence is like taking input, which is hours worked by the employee, and the second one is the condition or control statement, which is the if statement, if condition. So where the variable is hours worked is greater than 4, which is greater than 4. If the hours worked is greater than 4, then the output will be the overtime pay. That means when the variable, the input number is greater than 40, that means the condition is true, then it will follow the next statement like overtime pay. But when the hours worked is less than 40, say 39 or 30, then the next process will not be this one. It will jump this step and will directly go to the step 5 and will display the output as regular because the condition is false, and then the program will be ended. The flowchart. Actually, the flowchart is an alternate way of presenting an algorithm of the program. So flowchart is a graphical way of writing algorithms for solving problems. Actually, to draw a flowchart of an algorithm, we need some building blocks or symbols like this. So here the rectangle is used for calculations, this one. Parallelogram is used for input output, like this one, and oval is used for terminator as well as starting of the program. This is this one, and the diamond is used as decision or setting a condition like this. And symbols or building blocks are connected by arrows to represent the order of operations. So this is an example of a flowchart for a sequential program. So let me explain an example. So this example is basically the example of a pseudocode, sequential pseudocode explained in the earlier of this lecture while describing the sequential pseudocode. This is basically the same problem. So it will start. It will the flowchart will start here, and it will the first step will be this one, which is taking an input in variable A. Then the next one is taking another input in variable B, and the next one is the main operations, which is the arithmetic operation. It is basically the summation operation. And after performing the summation of two numbers under A and B variables, the final result will be stored in the variable C, and then the result will be displayed as C, because C contains the result of the summations of two numbers, and then the program will end. So from this flowchart we can follow there is no sequence broken. Right? It maintains the proper sequences step by step. On the other hand, if we explain the flowchart for the problem 2 that was explained while explaining the non-sequential pseudocode, this is the same problem for representing the flowchart approach. So the problem, this is the problem 2, which determines the payment type based on number of hours worked by worker. So this is the starting of the program, and first step is taking an input like hours worked by worker, and then the statement or the decision or control statement here. So hours worked is variable here, and if the hours worked is greater than 40, this is the condition, the 40 hours, then they state that these statements or control statement will be true, and then the next step will be following this path, the yes path, and the next step will be the output like overtime pay. If the condition is not true, that means the value of hour work is less than 40, then the condition will be false. In that case, the next process will follow this no path, and finally it will be like the output will be like a regular pay. So, and then the program will end. So basically it is not following the strict sequences. It is not strictly following the proper sequences or the fixed sequences. So it depends on the data, input data. So if it satisfies the condition, it will follow the yes path. If not, then it will follow the no path. So that's why it is kind of uncertain, and there is no proper sequence for this program. And this is an example of a flowchart for a non-sequential program. In the previous slides, we discussed about the pseudocodes and flowcharts. They are not the real programming code. Actually, the real programming code is created by using the computer programming languages. One of the computer programming languages, C, C++, C#, Java, Python, R for application programs or application software, and for web development, HTML and PHP, JavaScript, and for database, SQL, MySQL. SQL is the language, but the MySQL is the database management system. So probably you will be learning how to create a programming code using Python in your laboratory classes. Hopefully you will be enjoying. So let me summarize the contents covered in this chapter. So we covered the contents like what is computer science or CS. So why is CS important, and history of CS, generations, how a computer works, including the basic architecture of a computer, basic components of a computing system, how a computer processes data, and finally the program designs and algorithms. Thank you.